back to the video. So today's video will be ranking all 6 Skylanders games from worst to best. Again, this is my opinion, and if you don't agree, please tell me down in the comments. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so number 6 on my list is Skylanders Imaginators. I think a lot of people can agree with me on this one, because it's a game that a lot of people just kind of hate. It was just kind of a poorly made game with not really great levels. A pretty cool gimmick that you get to make your own Skylanders. But this game just kind of lacks something that's kind of hard to explain. Like, levels aren't great. And the Skylanders roster was kind of the only good thing about it. And a lot of stuff from the game is really expensive. Like the senseis are easily like over $20, a lot of them, and that's just, it's not a particularly good game. So yeah. Alright, next on my list, number 5 is Trap Team, which is a pretty controversial pick because lots of people really love this game. Because I can kind of see why people like it, but for me, I dislike it a lot. I think it was rushed and very poorly made. I think the roster was not great, and the gimmick was kind of basic, and there are a couple good parts about it, but overall for me, I just don't really enjoy playing it as much as other games. So yeah, that's why it's this low. So numero cuatro, number 4 on this list, is Skylanders Superchargers. I really don't see why that many people hate this game. I feel like just like one person hated it and everyone else just goes along with it without even like giving it a chance. Because this game is way overhated, I feel like. Because overall it's a great storyline and great game. Just the gimmick is what a lot of people hate. Like, if this game had a different gimmick, it would be one of my favorite games, because overall it's a great game with all the enemies and stuff, but the racing kind of just brings it down a lot, because if it had a lot of like non-vehicle based enemies or boss fights, it would be a lot better, because a lot of the vehicle parts are just boring and slow and not very fun. It doesn't really feel like a traditional Skylanders game, so that's why it's number 4. Alright, so number 3 is Skylanders Giants. Overall, I think this is a game that you can't really hate, and it's a great game overall. Just the 2 next games I like a lot better. The only problems I have with this game is that a pretty good amount of glitches and all that stuff, and it's particularly pretty short, only 16 levels, which are all not that long. But it had a great gimmick with the giant Skylanders, who I do have a problem with being pretty slow, but overall they're really powerful and all that stuff. And they're pretty easy to get compared to some of the other ones. And that's why it's like this on my list, not because it's a bad game, just because there's other better ones. Alright, so number 2 on this list is going to be Skylanders Spyros Adventure. A lot of people kind of just hate on this game because it has lots of glitches and stuff, but like that's kind of normal for the first game in the series, and people are a little hard on it. But in everyone else's list, this is always middle of the pack, 3rd or 4th, because it's not very hateable. Like, no one really hates this game. It's just like there are a couple other games that people think are better than it, but overall I think it's a great game with lots of gameplay to be had, with lots of opportunities and all that stuff, and a couple of cool mechanics with like the OG32 and stuff, which is why it's just overall a really solid game that basically a lot of people like, including myself. But next up, most importantly, is my favorite game, and that is Skylanders Swap Force. This is one of the most controversial topics in all Skylanders, whether it's a good game or not. Many people hate the recycling of levels, which I personally love, because it just gives you like, hey, I know what's going to happen, but it's also a pretty big surprise on what's going to happen next. And it just feels just like a great game. Like, it always just makes me happy whenever I play this game, and that's really all that matters. Overall, great game. I think personally the best roster of Skylanders, with a bunch of new just kind of like features in it, like the swap zones and all that stuff, which is overall I think the best game, because it was also my first game, so I might be a little biased. But even if it wasn't, it would still probably be my favorite because this is an awesome game. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.